So we're gonna go ahead and grab our first blocks for our build. We are going to be using the 5x5 build system from Andy is Yoda, which is one of my favorites. So what we do is we plot it out like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we continue that in a square. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then like this. So we have a nice little square. That is our 5x5. And then we build up 5. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so for these first blocks, you can use really whatever you want, but you're probably going to want to pick out some kind of log, whether that's stripped or unstripped, whichever you prefer. And these are going to be our 4 pillars. Then what we're going to do is grab our wall block and fill in this square here. So right across the top, just like this. We'll sort the windows out after, don't worry about that for now. Just get it filled in so you can see that your blocks go together nicely and that you've got the right shape. We will leave a little gap for the door just here at the front though, so we can get in and out. That wouldn't be very good, would it, if we were stuck? Okay, there we go. Next up, we're going to put in some windows. You can have these however you like, but the classic Minecraft house normally has a 2-block window just here. You can use whatever glass you want, but I prefer to use the panes because it adds a little bit of depth adds a little bit of depth to use these glass panes rather than the blocks. Just something a little bit interesting. And if you don't like the look of the clear glass blocks or the clear glass panes, try out some of the dyed variations. I think that the light grey looks quite nice. So we're going to have one little window at the back of our house and another window like that on that side. Now we have the roof to tackle. There's various different routes you can go, but we will go with the classic stair roof. So to get started, you will probably, if you're in survival, you're going to want to build a little dirt staircase like this, okay, to be able to get up on your house. I am going to fly in creative. So we start at one side of the house and we place the stairs like this, okay? That's one lot of the stairs done. And the thing with stairs is they can be a bit tricky. If you put your cursor, that's the crosshair that you can see in the middle, if you put it right at the bottom of a block, it places it like this. So the stair is the right way up. And if you place your cursor near the top, it will place the stair upside down. So you have to watch where your cursor is. So we want them the right way up. And that's right at the bottom of the block, just like that. And then we carry on one step up and do each side at a time if you'd like, just to keep track. Making sure that each side is done nice and even. And once you get to this point and you've got a little gap here, you can always just place a dirt block or some kind of placeholder block right in there just to put your stairs on. And as you go along, you're going to want to place the stairs like this. In the bottom corner is where you put your crosshair. And that's how we get the stairs to line up sideways. We'll do the same on this side, so that we can get our stairs nice and lined up. Now let's take a look. So for this block in the middle, it's up to you. You could use planks like this. You could use logs to add a little bit of detail at the top. And if you want the height of the roof to continue up a little bit, then you can use the oak slab or whatever kind of wood you're using. So we bring this back. And that is our roof. We can knock out these dirt blocks now that we don't need them. And we've got a basic structure of our build. Now it's looking quite plain. I'm guessing you want something a bit more cozy, a bit more interesting. Maybe a bit more watertight for your first build. So up the top here, we can fill it in either with the same block like this or a different one. It is completely up to you, and that's the great thing about Minecraft. You choose what blocks you want to try out, and it's all up to you. It's a wonderfully creative process. Alright, and I am going to put us a little window right up at the top here, just for a bit of detail. Okay. And another thing you can do, just to make your roof look a bit more interesting at the edges, is to go underneath and place your stairs under the stairs that are already here, and place them backwards like this. And then at the front you can always do one like this, and that makes your roof look a little bit more interesting. So we'll jump around and do that on the other side. So next up, we are gonna choose a flooring for inside our house and get our door placed. So for your floor, you can choose any block you want, obviously, but ideally something that matches with blocks you already have. So I am going to go with some stripped spruce wood, I think. That is something a little bit different you can use. Adds a nice little bit of warmth and texture to our house. And you can place these all different directions like this as well to get a nice changed up texture type effect. Now for the door, we're going to matchy match with the spruce door. And that is our basic house, my friends. That wasn't so hard. Alright, and if you're thinking, well, Fox, that's all very well, but it's a bit boring. Well, yes, my friends, it is. So let's step over here to house number 2. So, some quick tips for you. If you want to make your roof that bit more fancy, give it a kind of Japanese feel, or even in some medieval builds you see this, you place some stairs like this, and it just makes your roof look a little bit more interesting. Okay, so that's, you go to each side, you place down your stair facing towards you, and then one facing away, and you end up with a roof like that. Bit more interesting. And then, if you really want to go for it with your roof, what you can do is pair this little sticking out bit here with a nice trim. So how we do that is we just go round with another stair or block in a different color, and we replace some of the roof. And what we're left with is a lovely trim. On either side, like this. So we've got our second roof that's a bit more interesting than the first. But it's up to you which style you choose. Okay, we are on to house number 3. We've got a slightly different roof. So you can see how you can change up the colours for whatever you like. Add these little top trim parts, or not, whatever suits you. And for house number 3, we're going to go all out. I'm going to show you, if you're not satisfied with house number 1 or house number 2, then house number 3 is for you, because this is the all-out Fox style 5x5 starter house. So each of the 3 houses currently has the same flooring, and that's stripped spruce wood. But I'm going to show you a sneaky little tip to give you both a gorgeous unique floor and some storage. Let's tear this out. Oh, we'll fix that after. Now what we can do is place barrels. Now you can place them either this way, where you get these lines across the top, or vertically, where that will be the top for your floor. So we are going to go ahead and place them this way on to create almost like a tile type pattern. Let me figure out how to... There we go. You have to click right at the tippy top. So, now this is a nice floor, very unique looking. Kind of like spruce planks, but with this added blacky grey detail. And it doubles as storage. Ta-da! So if storage is something you're concerned about, then this is the floor for you. And of course you don't have to do your whole floor like this, but I quite like it. So we're gonna go ahead and add our door back. We're gonna go with the spruce. Now our floor doubles as storage. Okay, and on to our next tip for snazzing up our house. Is that even a word? Jazzing up our house. Jazzing up our house number 3 is trapdoors. Now, typically I like to use spruce trapdoors because look how pretty that is. And you want to use them sparingly and put them in places that highlight features and they just add a little bit of texture. I like to use them almost to look like shutters near the windows or windowsills outside. In fact, we'll put that one above. Whatever looks best to you. Sometimes it's best to just go with your gut and you'll create something really unique and interesting. So now we've got these kind of windowsills on the outside and we're going to grab some fence posts. And the key here is once you've got your base build done, it's sort of like you're doing a painting. So we've got our base layer and we want to add some texture and some interest. And the 5x5 system keeps it nice in scale, so it's a nice size. You're not having to build anything crazy or follow any massively long tutorials here if you don't want. But what we're doing is starting with our base, adding texture and adding contrast. And that's where these dark oak fence posts come in. So, again, just place them wherever they look natural to you. As much as possible. Try to avoid doing things the same on both sides. That's something I have a really hard time with. I do love a symmetrical build, but for the detail, it can look really nice to just have it a bit random. Even like this, look. Even like that, you know, I'll probably change my mind in a minute, but even like this. Okay, it's not about it being perfect, it's about it having character and a vibe. So we're going to go ahead and leave that back there. Okay, in terms of lighting, if you are still early game, torches will be our main light source. Now, of course they look fine just up on the wall, and that will work just fine to keep mobs away and brighten up your home. But I always feel like if we place them on a fence post, they just look a little bit more intentional, a little bit neater, you know? So these fence posts here can double as kind of torch holders, like that. And if you're lucky enough to have enough iron already, then we can use lanterns, which I have to say are my favorite. Super, super cozy. Now, another little tip for inside your house, if you're like me and you're constantly running in and out of your house, I really like to have a pressure plate placed down like this that also doubles as a doormat. So when you come in, you wipe your feet. And the great thing about that is you never have to remember to shut your door. So you're not going to come back to your house blown up by a creeper. Plus, if villagers find their way in here, they won't leave your door open either. So it's a win-win, I think. Again, if you have been doing enough mining to get your lanterns, then I like to put the lantern right up there. Just the one. And it casts a lovely warm glow down into the house. Alright, next up we are going to go for some cute cottagecore style decor on the outside. You're going to need some shears to gather yourself some vines. Now again with the vines, I mean you can place however many you want, but let's go sparingly. And typically you want to do them on the edges of the build, like it's creeping up, like that. It makes the build look more lived in, like it's been here for some time, you know? Alright, and once you're happy with your vines, we're going to go in with some leaves. Now, probably, if you spawned into a plains biome, you might have access to some oak leaves, some spruce, maybe, if you're lucky, and some birch. My two favorites to use are oak and spruce. So we're going to create some little bushes. One cool thing you can do is mix up the leaf blocks that you're using. So we can sort of line them up with the vines a little bit there and give that feel of a sort of overgrown area. So I'm going to go around and do that now. Add some little bushes. Tinker with it until you feel you're happy with what you've got. So if we're looking to add some more color and detail and texture, we can always look to using buttons. They don't have to be functional, we can just chuck them on like this. I think they add just a little something to the build. Just a little detail of interest. They could even be kind of in place of maybe a little plaque or a sign, something very small on the house. And if you want to make your house feel a little bit more welcoming, we can add a flower pot and whatever flower you would like outside. Just makes it look a little bit more homely. And if you've come across any of the taller flower varieties, we can add them around the house as well. Where should we put this one? Here. So it looks like we've been out gardening around the house. Lovely. And I might go ahead and add a couple ferns because I do love a fern. How about you guys? What's your favorite little plant to put? Do you like putting the grass with the bone meal? Do you like these little flowers, the big ones? What's your favorite? Let me know in the comments. Alright, and from here, what are we lacking? Well, every good house needs a path. We need a nice little path leading right up to our house. So if you have found moss blocks so far, then we're going to go ahead and use that. If not, don't worry about it. You can sub it out for anything else. It's absolutely fine. Moss is one of my favorites. So we are going to make a path, and this is how we're going to do it. That's not how we're going to do it. This is how we're going to do it. It doesn't need to be a straight line if you don't want it to be. Again, we're trying not to make patterns here, and I know that can be difficult. I certainly find it very difficult. We're trying to be completely random, just completely random. So we'll go 4 blocks. You can choose a mixture of 3 to 4, maybe even 5 different blocks. So I have mossy cobblestone, tuff, moss block, and oak leaves. You go ahead and choose whatever you want, and we're going to mix them together to make a lovely winding path. So you're going to take your first block and place it down, completely scattered and random as much as you can. That is in the general sort of shape of where you want to go. Then what we're going to do is go in with our second block and sort of mimic that pattern and place it in between and right alongside that first block that we've placed. You can add a bit more, you don't have to just have one on each side. Then we are going to go in with our third block, which is the moss. Oh, my favorite, the moss. The moss, the moss. And you can choose whatever kind of ratio of blocks you want. If you want it to be mostly cobblestone, you can do that. And then we're going to do some sort of highlights with the leaves. Now, if you're happy with your path like this, with some of these grass blocks in between, that's fine. You can finish up your path there. However, I would like to add another block just so I can show you what difference it makes having the whole path kind of filled in. We're going to go for gravel because it's in that same kind of color scheme, but it's got that little bit different texture, plus the gravelly noise when you walk on it. Always a bonus. So we're going to basically fill in with the gravel. Okay, and any blocks left, go ahead and just fill in with any of the blocks that you have chosen. That is what our path is looking like. Now, just to define the edges of the path a little bit more, we're going to go back, grab our fence posts. They can be the same color as the ones you've got near your house or different, whatever. It is up to you. And we're going to place them. Again, higgledy-piggledy, my favorite. Just to either side like this. And to make sure we've not got any nasties coming up the path to our house, we can add torches all the way along here. And if you do have access to them, I am going to grab some bricks to put underneath each of these posts. And that sort of makes it look like these posts have been fused into some kind of cement or concrete or something. So that's fun. We'll leave that one as it is. We're going to add some ferns. You can have them on the path if you want, but I like it to feel nice and open so we can walk along our path. Nice and clear. And then I feel that we are lacking a bit of colour. So if you have gathered any flowers at this point in your journey, then now is the time to use them. We're gonna dot them around our path just like this. So the colour scheme I've kind of gone for is red and yellow. Nice simple colour scheme. These flowers are likely to be found early game, you know? It's not anything difficult. And finally, if you do have access to a lush cave, a mossy cave, then you may already have some mossy carpet. So let's put some of that just at the edges, because I love, love, love the little bit of texture that it adds with the fact that it's raised up like that. You can even put it on top of some of your blocks. It really doesn't matter. Wherever you think looks good. Heading inside, we are going to do a basic cozy indoor setup with our red bed, which I'm going to place here. We're going to place, hang on a minute, let me figure this out with the barrel underneath. Okay, we have got an oak trapdoor at the end of the bed just to make it feel kind of boxed in and cozy. We're going to replace that barrel with our crafting table, nice and compact in the corner. And then your furnace can go really wherever you'd like. I'm going to place mine right here. Finally, for the inside, we are going to place a stair of whatever color or texture of your choosing, and that can be our little seat in the corner. And there we have it. We have got house number 3 with its vines, with its lived-in look, with its higgledy-piggledy nature and its cottagecore vibes. We've got leaves, we've got flowers, we've got moss. Our path leads right down to the sea with all mixed up kind of blocks. We've got torches to make sure that no mobs decide to come walking up our lane. And we've got our slightly fancy roof variation. We've got the potted tulip there at the door to welcome our guests. And inside, we've got a whole floor covered with our sneaky barrel storage. It's our compact and cozy cottage. We've got the bed, the crafting table, the furnace, and a chair. Plenty of room, even in the upper part of the house, for you to add chests or more barrels as a roof. Or even add a second floor. There is plenty of space to expand in here as you continue through the game. So hey, if you enjoyed this build, make sure to check out this next video on my cozy witchy starter house, which is free to download now on my website. Will you download it? Say yes. He said yes. Awesome.